Hello everyone and welcome back to my 100% walkthrough for Wild Arms 2. Now, in the previous episode, I had advised you all to level up with farming Hulkatons, and you'll notice that I am level 85 with all of my characters. I was going to shoot for level 80 originally, but after I realized after some testing that I was missing some stuff I needed for survivability, I went ahead and went to level 85. So I highly recommend that if you want to do these next two fights, which I'm going to point out right now, these next two fights are completely optional. There are no trophies tied to them. They are strictly for bragging rights. They do not provide any experience or Gela. The only thing that they're good for is if you manage to defeat them, you get two very powerful items. So, to prepare for these fights, as you're leveling up, I highly recommend getting the following PSS skills for all of your characters. First is going to be Advanced Guard. Max those out on everybody. And what this does is it allows you to basically guard against, automatically guard against any physical attacks coming your way. Just physical. You also want to max out Confusion Resistance. And of course, make sure that you have up parameter for all of your characters, and then up M defend and up P defend for all characters, and then all of your magic users have up M attack maxed out, and physical characters up P attack maxed out. Everything else is basically optional except for the physical characters, Ashley, Brad, and Conan. Critical and counter are actually really good to have maxed out as well. As long as you have those, you're good to go. Let's go ahead and head over to the arms shop, and I will show you what I did there. So with all the excess amount of Gela that we got from farming the Hulkatons, I had enough Gela, and then some, to max out the attack power on all of my arms abilities. I highly recommend doing that. Max out the attack power on all of your arms, because we're actually going to be, for Brad anyway, we're going to be maxing, or we're going to be using those moving forward. Go to the level 2 magic shop, and those crest caps that we've been collecting throughout the game, which we should have 3 of them, make slowdown. This reduces the response value for group enemies, but we're actually going to be trying to use these on the upcoming boss fights. If these land, it will actually be a pretty good help. Another thing you want to make sure that you go and get if you don't have them already is the elemental rings that we've been picking up over the course of the past few episodes. Is you want to make sure that you have at least 3 fire rings. This only shows 2 because one of my characters is currently equipped with 1, and 3 dark rings. So make sure you have those. If you don't, head over to the Valeria Chateau down to level B1. Talk to the vendor there and make sure you buy enough to have 3 of both of these. Another key note that I want to point out for the upcoming fight that we are fixing to face. The Viper Fang that you picked up on the way to Spiral Tower a few episodes back. I really hope you have not used this on any random enemy or one of the previous boss fights. This is actually going to become very helpful to us here shortly. Now, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead. In the town of Holst, head into the mine. And we're going to make our way back until we find the split in the road. Once you find the split here, you want to go right. You'll notice a save crystal here. I highly recommend saving here because if something goes completely wrong with the upcoming fight, you can just reload this save and it'll keep you from having to go back and do things that you just did. And will also save you most of the trip on the way down here. Once you reach the guardrails that are here, go to the right. Inside this room, you'll notice there is the pyramid. So let's go ahead and start preparing for the upcoming fight. First off, we're going to have a starting party of Tim, Ashley, and Maribel. Now, I'm going to heavily stress this. These two fights that we're about to do are very strategy heavy. Like, I'm going to show you the best strategy that I have found to deal with these fights. Feel free to tweak them however you wish, but I'm telling you right now, you want to follow what I'm about to show you. These fights can go south in an instant. So, with the starting party of Tim, Ashley, and Maribel, make sure that going into it, they have fire rings equipped. And make sure that Tim, I'm going to give him Raftina for the sorcery boost. Ashley is going to have Zephyr. Maribel, I will give Chapapanga for the full stat boost. Then, Brad, I'm going to give Talisman. Conan is going to take Power Boost. And Stair Row. Now, the reason we want to give Conan Power Boost and Stair Row is because Stair Row allows us to use Shoot Item, and we're going to use that to shoot the Viper Fang. Because the Viper Fang does a base damage of 25,000. With Power Boost, it only says that it increases the strength of the wearer. Well, it also has another effect that it doesn't tell you. It has a 50% chance to boost the damage of any attack that character does ×2. So if the power boost manages to trigger whenever we use Shoot Item with Viper Fang, we have the potential to do 50,000 damage to this boss. We are going to hope and pray that actually happens. Now, another thing I'm going to stress before we start this fight, make sure Maribel's luck stat is best. Make sure of it, because it's really going to help us out here shortly. Also, another thing I want to go ahead and stress is make sure Lilka has at least minimum, I would say probably about 5,400 health. If she doesn't, go level up some more and make sure up HP is maxed out. But we're going to leave Lilka out of the fight throughout the most of it until the very end, because she's going to be our saving grace when things start going our way. I will show you once we get there. So, whenever you're prepared and ready, sing a song and let's get this started. This is Ragu or Ragula. This guy is about to be a major, major pain. Alright, so, starting off this fight, he is always going to open with 1 trillion degrees. It's a very powerful fire attack, which is why we have everyone equipped with the fire rings. If you do not have the fire rings equipped, he will one-shot you. And the only characters that he will not one-shot probably is characters like Ashley and Brad, who have high health pools. So make sure you have fire rings equipped turn 1. Now, we're going to follow an exact set of actions that we want our characters to do. Tim is going to cast First Aid. Ashley is going to use the crest cap slowdown. This is more than likely going to miss. If it does, don't worry about it. It's fine. This is just hopes that it will hit. And then Marival is going to cast Sleep. Once you use this, Ragu is going to use 1 trillion degrees. Hopefully this means that Ashley is going to hit 100 FP, depending on what level you are. Yeah, imagine that without the rings. Okay, good. Sleep hit. That's good. That's what we want. Now we'll slow down hit. Slow down missed. Okay, that's not a problem. All right. Turn 2. There's 2 different sets of actions that I want you to take depending on whether or not, like, the main focus is, did sleep hit? If sleep did not hit, this is what I want you to do. Equip Marival and Tim with dark rings because he's going to use a void attack. It's a very powerful dark attack. Go ahead and leave firing on Ashley. Now, once you have equipped the dark rings on Tim and Marival, I want you to do the following actions. Tim is going to use First Aid again. Have Ashley use Mega Berry on himself. And have Marival cast Sleep again. Now, when you do that, if Sleep misses a second time, I highly recommend just reloading your save and trying this again. Now, if Sleep did hit, this is what I want you to do. We're gonna have Tim and Marival swap out with Conan and Brad. Make sure Conan has Power Boost and Stare Row equipped. Brad has Talisman. And here's what we're gonna do. Conan is gonna use Shoot Item with Viper Fang, and we are going to pray that the Power Boost effect triggers and we do double the damage. And as long as Ashley is 100 FP, which depending on, you know, if you're a pretty high level, he should be. We're gonna have him use Access. If he's not 100 FP, either use Zypher's Force Charge or just throw a mini carrot on yourself. And then with Brad, if Ashley is using Access, then go ahead and throw a mini carrot on Ashley. If Ashley is not using Access, then go ahead and either do one of 2 things. Have Brad punch Ragu just to get some extra FP and a little bit of damage going. Or you can go ahead and use arms ×2 if you have enough FP for that, which you should. And either shoot him with 2 Sky Eyes or a Sky Eye and a Mini Scud. It's really up to you. So my Ashley is going to be accessing, so I'm going to have Brad throw a mini carrot on him. And here we go. And the effect did not trigger. Dang. So I will be showing the health at the top of the screen. We want to keep track of that. All right, turn 3. Ragu has woken up. So since he was asleep for turn 2, he's not, like, he could use his void attack this turn, or he can do something completely different. It's all random from here. So we have used Viper Fang. Unfortunately for me, the power boost did not trigger. So here's what we can do moving forward. If he is still asleep on turn 3, just have Ashley use Mad Lucide, Conan to go ahead and just do a normal attack or her highest FP costing ability. Meaning, for me, I can use Vortex Cut. So you can just have her do a normal attack or use Vortex Cut, and then Brad, attack or use it, or he can use a mini carrot on Conan, because the main thing we want to focus on is getting her Eagle Claw. However, if he woke up, I recommend swapping out Conan for Marival. Or actually, go ahead and swap back to our starting team. If he is awake. Then, go ahead and have Marival use Sleep again. We're going to have Ashley use Mad Lucide, and Tim use First Aid. All right, he is asleep again. So with that, go ahead and if he did fall asleep, go ahead and swap out Marival for Brad. And Conan with Tim, because now we're going to be using this turn to deal as much damage as we can. So for this turn, I'm just going to have Brad punch. Ashley's going to use Mad Lucide again. And Conan is going to use Vortex Cut. All right, he is awake again, so I'm gonna go back. And we got extremely lucky in the last time we swapped them out, but we're gonna go ahead and give Marival and Tim the Dark Rings. Because for some reason, the Void attack actually can do more damage than 1 trillion degrees. So we're going to go ahead and have Marival use Sleep again. Ash is going to use Mad Lucide as usual. And we're going to have Tim use First Aid. And we actually made a good call there, because that was the dark attack that it can do. All right. So now we are going to have Marival swap out for Brad, but we're going to leave Tim in because Ashley needs healing. The main thing that you want to do if you've made it this far, things may not have played out the same exact way that you did. But the main thing is we want to keep track of the damage that we have done to Ragu, and the moment he hits under 25,000 health, that's when things are going to start changing up. So, Brad has 100 FP, so we're going to use Boost and Railgun. This should do a pretty good amount of damage. Ashley, once again, is going to use Mad Lucide, and Tim is just going to use First Aid. All right, good. He's still asleep, so we're just going to have Brad punch. Ashley, of course, is going to use Mad Lucide. And Tim is going to go ahead and... we'll do full heal. Wow, Ragu's still asleep. Okay, I'm not going to complain about that. So we're... All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and have, since Brad is just building up FP, I'm going to swap out him with Conan. And I'm going to have her use Vortex Cut. Hopefully that does a little bit more damage than what we were doing. And I'm going to continue to have Ashley using Mad Lucide. And now I am going to have Tim use Apocalypse because it is the highest. Actually, we're going to use Bold Lance because it's a single target. Okay, Ragu is awake. He is also under 25,000 health. So I'm going to swap out Tim for Lilka. And here's what we're going to be doing moving forward. Conan is going to be constantly hitting with her strongest ability that she has available, which right now it's still Vortex Cut, but I have a feeling that's about to change. Ashley is going to continue using Mad Lucide, and every single turn moving forward, Lilka is going to be using Mystic and Life Orb. This is going to cast High Heal on the entire party, which should fully heal them, because Ragu is now going to be using an explosion attack every single turn. So once you have reached this point, if you follow this, you've got this fight in the bag. Just use the same exact thing every single turn. Impact Bomber, that's what it's called. All right. So Ragu's getting really low health. I'm gonna go ahead and use Evil Claw. So out of desperation, because this should basically finish him off, I'm gonna go ahead and use Last Burst. And of course, Lilka is still gonna use Life Orb because Ragu is gonna go before us. Boom. 24,000. There we go. Sheriff Star acquired. If you manage to get him down, congratulations. These fights are really, really tough. So if you made it, you got him down, congratulations. Good freaking job. Pat yourself on the back. All right, now. We're gonna go ahead and make our way out of here. Alright, once you make it outside, go ahead and heal yourself up however you need to. Just do not use an inn because we need our luck. And save the game. Save it so you do not lose your progress and have to go back and do that fight again. Now, once you are done here, head outside, and we're going to teleport over to Helmets. Helmets. Teleport to Helmets. Alright, so before we move on, let's go ahead and head into Helmets, because we got to top up on a couple of things. Alright, so this NPC would get out of my way. Over at the magic shop, go ahead and use level 2 and then create another slowdown with the crest cap that we used. And over at the arms shop, refill your ammo. And now here is what we're going to do. We are going to have the party of Ashley, Brad, and Lilka. We are going to equip Ashley with the power boost. Brad is going to be equipped with... Actually, with our confusion maxed out, I'm just going to go ahead and leave him with Talisman. That should be fine. Lilka, we're going to equip with the Sheriff Star. So what it doesn't tell you here is that she is going to be actually taking half damage from spells. Due to very limited information I could find about Sheriff Star, the game and the official wiki does not state what Sheriff Star actually does, but based on player reports, the item not only gives a large boost to specific stats for each character, but also appears to give an omni-elemental boost to weapons and armor. Based on my personal testing, it appears if you strike an enemy with an elemental weakness and it doesn't have a listed absorb or resist to any other element, then it will take increased damage from the attack. Also, it gives omni-elemental defense, but does not work if the attack hitting the character is a non-elemental spell. So we're going to take off everybody's Guardians except for Ashley. Hey, actually, you don't really have to do that. So the main ones we want to make sure of is Ashley is wearing a Zephyr, Brad is going to put on Dandarium, and Lilka is going to have Raftina. Once you have all that done, you've topped up your health and everything, go ahead and save the game, so that way you don't have to do all this again. Head out, hop on Lombardia, and head over to Golgotha Prison. And right over here on the right, you'll see the pyramid. Now you should be pretty well prepared. We're going to be just using those 3 characters in this fight. So whenever you're ready, this is Angolmois. This guy has set abilities that he's going to start with, just like the previous boss. First ability he's going to use is Great Disaster. So here's what we want to do moving forward. On your first turn, depending on your level and the amount of FP that you have, if you are about like me, about 85, you should be fine. If you are lower, then what you're going to want to do is either guard, attack, or use force charge, because you want to get up 100 FP as fast as possible. So I am at level 85, and I already know that as soon as I get hit, I'm going to be 100 FP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Ashley use slowdown. I'm going to have Brad also use slowdown. As long as one of these hits, we're okay. And in Lilka, we're going to have her start with Mystic and Life Orb. That's not good. Okay, if both of those missed, you have turn 2 to throw your third one. If that one misses, reload your save. But for turn 2, have Ashley defend, Brad go ahead and throw the slowdown because he has a massive health pool, and then have Lilka block to avoid this heavy hitting damage. 7th Moon will wipe out Lilka if she's not guarding or using Invincible. We need the FP, so go ahead and have her guard on turn 2. If the slowdown does not hit this turn, reload your save. Okay, good, it hit. All right, on turn 3, as long as at least one slowdown has hit, Lilka will be faster than Angol. So, turn 3, we're going to go ahead and have Ashley access. Brad is going to throw a mini carrot on him. And Lilka is going to Mystic and Life Orb. All right. Now, this is where things are going to start getting a little bit tricky. So, Angol has just done his main abilities that he has. On turn 4, this is going to be really interesting. So, we need to, we're basically going to be gambling with Lilka. Either she's going to be able to survive this fight with absolutely no problems, or she gets hit with 7th Moon and she gets taken out. We are really, really hoping that that is not the case. It's going to be completely RNG what Angol does moving forward, and if he hits Lilka while she is not defending or using Invincible with 7th Moon, she's probably going to fall. So I'm going to go ahead, because I am over at least 2800 HP, which is actually his hardest hitting ability that is not 7th Moon. If you have less than 2800 HP on Lilka, use Invincible. If you have over that, you can take the gamble if you want to, but just know that if he uses 7th Moon, Lilka is probably going to fall. And here's how we're going to play this moving forward. Ashley is going to be using Mad Lucy to start ticking down health and hope that his power boost kicks in more times than not to double the damage that he does. And every time he reaches 99 or 100 FP, we're going to use Last Burst, followed immediately up with a Mini Carrot and Mystic and Life Orb from Lilka and Brad. So, keep track of the HP and just know that Angol uses a ability called Regeneration that will restore him by 15,000 HP around every 10 to 15 turns. So keep track of the HP. Do what you can to stay alive. Brad is mainly going to be focusing on giving mini carrots to either Ashley or Lilka, depending on who needs it the most. Lilka is going to be primarily the healer. If she does not need to heal that turn, if she needs FP, use block. If she doesn't need the FP, use invincible. It's going to be a huge gamble moving forward. Good luck, follow this strategy, and I'll see you on the other side. There we go. We are done. Horse unit acquired. If you have made it this far, congratulations. We have defeated the 2 hardest bosses in the game. Nothing can stop us now. So the force unit doubles force increase of the wearer. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, if you have managed to defeat both of those bosses, congratulations. Good job. You guys have come a long way. I'm happy for you. I'm excited. We are ready to finally tackle the end of this game, and nothing is going to stop us. If you beat both of those bosses, you can beat anything moving forward. All right. So, next up, let's go ahead and teleport to the town of Maria. In the next episode, we are going to be doing some cleaning up for those of you that are looking forward to getting 100% of this game. So the next episode is going to be a bunch of monster gathering, basically. We're going to tackle all of the monsters that we have missed or I have not highlighted yet in the world map before we head on to the final stages. So, save your game. And that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If this guide has been helping you out, please be sure to leave a big thumbs up and leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you're new and you'd like to see this journey in its concluding, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. As always, I will see you all in the next video. My name is Mike. Welcome to Dad's World, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.